All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen with you. With me, as usual, is my boy, Loyalist. And today we're going to discuss training camp from yesterday and today, the 2nd and 3rd of August. It is August, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Time flies when training camp is upon you, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was a hot one today, Loyalist. Hot one. How was you doing out there on those metal bleachers, my guy?
I'll tell you right now, you see all those people carrying around the water bottles and everything. I spent half the practice going, I wonder how much it cost me to get one of them. Because, man, it was the fluids were definitely needing to be replenished all day today.
Absolutely. And today was Salute to Service Day, which means what? It means that the Colts had to come out and bring out the big gun. Absolutely. Thanks for that. Loyalist was there. He was taking some clips here and there of training camp yesterday and today. I got a couple clips that we're going to go through beforehand. Don't forget, hey, smash that like button, man. We'd appreciate it a ton. It helps with our videos getting out there, get more views, more people will see it. Videos are actually doing a lot better than they have been the last 3 months. Go figure, right? So we appreciate
very much.
Also, if you want to do more than just that, feel free. Use the link in the description of this video because, where it says donations, because that would help us with gas money and things of that nature getting to training camp because let's face it, gas is expensive and we're kind of on a tight budget at this point in time. But really quick shout out to my boy. All right. I gotta hold on 1 second while I do this because there we go. Share screen. And I gotta do there it is. So shout out to my guy, all right, Robert Wood, aka Rodrigo Blankenship, who dropped $5 into the tip jar yesterday morning. I appreciate that a ton. Thank you so much. Says keep up the good work, brotherhood. Absolutely, thank you. Just making sure that everybody knows that, when you do make a donation or something like that to the funds for us to get back and forth and things of that nature, you will get shouted out here on the show. Let's get in.
Real quick, while we're shouting out, I just wanted a couple of people that I met at training camp, Nate Eagles. He's a junior in high school. And I'll tell you what, he pointed out to me how much football's really changed. He's like, yeah, I played center too. And I looked at him and I'm like, boy, they just don't make him like they used to. He's all lean and ripped and everything. And I'm like, I was a center, But he did tell me that he's transitioning over to tight end. And also Ron, 40-year veteran of the Tri-West principal. He was a principal and in their school system. Super nice guy. Met him today. So it was really good out there meeting a lot of nice people out there with Colts Nation.
Absolutely. We also have John Davis, James Smithson, and John Gilbert in the chat. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. If you have any questions about practice from yesterday and today, the full pad days, right? Feel free to drop them in there. We'll see if Loyalists can get some answers for you. If there's anything I can answer from days that I've showed up, obviously I'll do that as well. Plus, we're going to talk about not only what you saw, but let's get into the actual reports of OBJ. Okay. I just want to talk about that real quick. There are reports out there that Odell Beckham Jr. and the Indianapolis Colts have been in contact discussing things. Now, I'm not going to discuss whether OBJ would be good for the team. Okay. I obviously right now, or whether or not he will be signed. I'm not going to go into that. What I am going to go into a little bit is maybe how much it would cost contractual wise and when he would be available. Okay. Because that is a situation that you really have to think about when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., right? He blew his knee out during the Super Bowl. He's not expected to come back until what, late October, right? Somewhere in that general. So he's going to miss a minimum of six to 8 weeks of the season. So it's not like something that he could just, even if he signed, that he could come in day one. And then on top of that, he's going to have to get himself into football shape, right? Plus, he's going to have to get on track with Matt Ryan, right? Getting in the practices, throwing around with him, that kind of stuff. So that's a situation when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr. that, look, I like Odell Beckham Jr., but when you're coming in midway through a season, it's not a great situation. Now, obviously he came in partially into the season for the Rams last year and did wonders for him, but he was already healthy and ready to go at that point. Okay. This is a little bit of a different situation. Also, it would make his contract a lot cheaper, being that he won't be able to play till like midway through the season. Last year, remember, he signed with the Rams for what, $1 million? That was it. Like something around that nature. Now, I don't expect $1 million contract for the Colts. He showed last year that he was very, very effective, but especially with a good quarterback and a system around him, I think he would do well with the Indianapolis Colts late in the season, maybe into the playoffs if the Colts make it there. But I don't expect a contract of more than $6 million if he's supposed to be in this. I would say 10 to 14 if it was a full season, had a full off season, things like that, because I still think that OBJ really did show what he still had last year, but he is coming off that injury and he's not going to have a full season. What are your thoughts, Loyalist?
Yeah, like you said earlier, he's not going to be playing. And the thing is this is one of those moves where if one of your guys goes down, okay, we've talked, about, and we'll probably talk a little more today about how good this wide receivers room has been showing out and stuff just in training camp. But this is definitely one of those, let's make a hard playoff push for the Super Bowl type of thing. You know what I mean? And this is one of those where you just sit there and like I always tell my kids, before you get in a relationship, make sure you're the best version of yourself. Well, that's what the Colts are doing. They're going to be the best version of themselves. And then if OBJ wants to join in and stuff for a playoff push, that's great. But don't sit there and expect a whole lot outside of that. And that's, I understand the excitement, especially from a fan base that's been screaming for a veteran wide receiver, but he's 30 years old or going to be 30 years old by the time he recovers. I mean, he's not Julian Blackmon, so these things don't heal virtually overnight. You know what I mean? These things take a process and stuff. And then, like you said, not only do you have to come through getting healthy again and getting that strength, but then you got to acclimate to the players, to the locker room, to the franchise. So, yeah, I understand everybody's excitement, but there again, I feel like this is something that's just going to really push them during the playoffs.
Absolutely. Inside the Horseshoe Podcast, what's up? He's part of our Patreon. Awesome. Marquis Beverly says, how's it going, fellas? Really sure you guys are having ball at camp. Absolutely. A-Watt. Okay, that's what I call him, A-Watt now. Because my love for a walk, right? So A-Watt, he's been a while since he showed up. Appreciate you being here, finding time to jump into the stream. James Smithson, we'll get to your question after we get done talking about practice and stuff.
Brandon's not gonna like that one.
Yeah, right. But Brandon Wood, I was having such a good day, and then you had to ruin it. Get you. Jack? What's going on, Jack? What's up with Kenny Moore? Been out of touch the last 2 weeks. We will get to that as well. But again, here we go. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the offensive line, right? It's been told yesterday. I don't know about today, but yesterday apparently the defense won the day.
Oh yeah,
right, by far. Not only during practice, but during the end of practice on the 2-point conversion drills, which then forced the offense to do sprints. And Matt Ryan apparently tripped over his own feet trying to do those sprints. But we're gonna talk about that. But I want to look at this. This is a little clip right here that you got of the offensive line doing some personal drills here.
Until they prove themselves along. Yeah, 40 years of not being a good team. And 1 year doesn't quite put you over.
The Browns, there's going to be quarterbacks. That could be fun.
Now, when we're watching these, what are we actually looking for to see whether or not this is a good drill or a bad drill with the people that are actually doing it, Loyalist?
Well, you're looking to keep your arms in. You know, you've always heard, you know, once you see those hands out there, boom, that flag is going to be falling real quickly. You know, keeping your arms in, keeping them feet moving, keep driving, and just keep everything you do when you're a lineman. It's not long lunging steps. Everything's choppy steps, and just you know, we talked about it when we were talking about Bernhard Raimann and, you know, breaking down his draft and stuff. He finishes so well. Well, this is the drill that, you know, this is where you start learning how to finish off your blocks. This is where you sit there and you get engaged. And the thing is the offensive lineman does not want to leave that guy. So you just keep driving them feet and keep putting the pressure on and moving the guy out of wherever you're trying to get JT or Naheem or whoever to get through.
Absolutely, because that's going to be very important. It's not just, you know, the pass blocking. We got to make sure that our run blocking is at par. What's up, Sean P? And A Watt says he can dig it. That's awesome. I'm glad you like that. So here's the thing. All right. We don't have real questions about three of our offensive linemen, right? I mean, obviously Big Q, Ryan Kelly, and Braden Smith out there at right tackle. They're all pros or pro bowlers. These are staples of the offensive line right now. All three of them will be long-term players. There's no doubt about that. Quentin Nelson will be extended. They've been in talks with it for a while. We're curious about Matt Pryor and Bernhard Raimann, and then of course the battle over there at right guard. What can you tell us about those position battles that you've seen?
Well, first off, you know, at the tackle position, Matt Pryor and Bernhard Raimann, okay, they've got their hands full. Yannick Ngakoue is a beast, okay, but that's perfect for this time of season. That's the type of, you know, that iron sharpens iron type of thing. And the thing is, you know, everybody's acting like Yannick's just blowing them up all the time. It's not like it was last year. It's not like what we saw, that little turnstile. No, there is give and take. You know, these guys are, you know, staying strong and holding their own and stuff. But, you know, the thing is they also are sitting there and they're showing that they're improving, you know. And the thing is yesterday was the first padded practice, and then today they weren't in pads. But yesterday, the thing was like you said, the offense, the offense did not win the day by any means. But the thing was Yannick wasn't in there every snap like we saw last year. You know what I mean? There was some where the offense won and there was some where the defense won. Thing is if you're running 60-40 or 50-50 in these type of situations, because Yannick Ngakoue has all the moves. You know, he's just got everything. He power to speed to power. You know, he interior spin move. You know, outside bend. You know, this guy's got a full toolbox. And the thing is for Matt Pryor and Bernhard Raimann to sit there and step up and to win some of those matches. I mean, first week of training camp? I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. You know, no, they're not Anthony Costanzo, but if you were expecting that, then I'm sorry. Give it a couple of years and let's see what happens then. But right now, like I said, I think Matt Pryor is performing better than Raimann. And I think we saw that today because they started moving Raimann around a little bit more. He got some reps over at right tackle. He got a little bit at right guard. You know how coach likes to keep them on their toes and stuff. So you never know who's going to go down and we've discussed it. I mean, whoever doesn't win that left tackle spot doesn't mean they're not going to be part of the starting lineup. They just mean that's another competitor for Danny Pinter and Will Fries at that right guard spot.
Well, it's just like, when Braden Smith came in as a rookie, he was battling with our right guard that we signed from Seattle, yeah, and Mark Glowinski, and Glowinski was solidifying himself in that position. And so they moved him over to right tackle, and ta-da, we find out that we have a starting right tackle at that position and end up signing him long term. Real quick, want to jump in here. Forgot to mention, that's Jack. All right, that's Jack Crumbless right there. Appreciate you. Colts fan 57 donates $10. Says, hey guys, appreciate you. Thank you so much. That will definitely help with the gas money getting back and forth.
If you guys don't know who Jack is, that shows that you got another problem. You're not part of our Patreon. $5 a month, you get to meet great people like Jack. I'll tell you right now, he's one of those guys that makes the Patreon special.
Absolutely. So that was the battle that you've seen over there at the right tackle, with Pryor kind of solidifying his position over there. What are you seeing, or at left tackle? What are you seeing at the right guard position?
See, the right guard there's just a lot, like I said, a lot of moving pieces because, was it Saturday before they got into full pads? We were talking about how, Grover and Eric Johnson and some of these guys were really just being super aggressive and stuff. And Penner was having a little bit of trouble with it, as would a lot of guys. But the thing is Penner's got the foot, the way I see it, Penner's got, the foot in the door. He's the first guy, first chance to. But the thing is he's got a lot of hungry guys that are fighting for it, and now, like I said, we got to see a little bit of Bernard moving over to right guard a little bit. So I like Penner. I like what he brings to it. And we've talked about it, the right guard, all your guards don't have to be Quentin Nelson, okay? Glowinski was not a Quentin Nelson. But the thing is if you can get a good, solid, hold, and I feel like Fries and Pinter both have been showing that. But like I said, this D-line has really been putting that O-line to the test. I don't care if Grover Stewart out there busting his hump every play like he's like a rookie trying to make the roster, or whether it's Eric Johnson, who is a rookie trying to make the roster. I mean, and not to mention, you got Defoe and the other cast of members. So like I said, these guys, they are getting a lot of excellent work. And the thing is if you want to sit there and see some messed up plays, this is the time. This is when you want to see that. This is where you're going to get most of your development and growth, because I've always been of the like that you're going to learn more through your mistakes than you are through your successes. I mean, you still learn from your successes, but your mistakes are like the ones that eat at you and you remember the most.
Well, you fully expect the defense to start winning when pads come on, when they first start coming on. If they don't, there's a problem, especially when you have as many new pieces on the offense as you do, like new pieces at, the tackle position, the guard position, the quarterback, the wide receivers, right? The tight ends. We got all these new moving pieces, which means in order for that to work, that offense has to be in sync and know each other very well and have experience playing with each other. The defense, yes, they have to know a little bit about playing with each other, but it's more about their personal one-on-one wins and losses than it is, whether or not Blackman knows exactly what, Yannick is doing. Mm-hmm. Right. And timing his stuff up with him. Again, real quick, let's look at this here. Appreciate the $10 donation inside the Horseshoe Podcast. Appreciate that very much. That's gonna definitely go into the funds to get in to training camp again. I've got another one of these lined up for this Sunday. Yes, sirree. Right. So that's going to be fun. And that, again, is a sold out day. Mm-hmm. So we're very similar. I'm going to get a lot of video, uncut video coverage right up until team drills, right? Can't record team drills. We've discussed this. I posted this on my social media. Hey, It's just it's a rule. It's not just a Colts rule, right? It's an NFL rule, and that NFL rule was back before Spygate. Okay, so just let you know that Spygate happened because of that rule, right? They were there, they had guys there, they were recording team practice, team drills, and they got smacked with it, right? So we got to just be careful with that.
Real quick before we move on, I would like to ask anybody if you've got an extra ticket for Sunday. I had some family plans that have sort of fallen through. I didn't get the tickets. Now I can't. If you could just DM me on Twitter, you see it there at Colts Loyalist 56. If you can get, one or two tickets, I would greatly appreciate it.
One would be great.
Yeah, I don't want this to be the only practice that I miss for the training camp, this week and stuff. And like I said, the family stuff had gone a wayside. But I also wanted to mention something else back to what you were talking about, about the left tackle. And just let's remember, guys, in this first week and a half, whatever it's been, there's a lot of installing, a lot of game planning and stuff. You see the O-line, there's a lot of thinking, there's still processing. I mean, yeah, they got the playbook, whether it's Ryman or Pryor, they got the playbook, but there's just all this installing going on. And you can still, they're in that, I don't want to say like they're not being instinctive, but you can still see their brains working. Oh, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? I mean, Pryor hasn't had a lot of experience at that left tackle spot. So I think that with what I've seen from this week and stuff, you hopefully project that improving and stuff, that 1% we always hear about. I really do think that our left tackle spot, it's not going to be, totally secure like we were with AC, where you could put a lot of extra stress on that spot. But I do think that it's definitely on the right track. I like what I've saw from both Ryman and Pryor.
Awesome. 22 minutes in, another time for me to say, hey, smash that like button, please. Don't forget, you can hit the share button, the red share button, share it to your favorite social media. You could do that right now if you're on a computer. Might not do it if you're watching this on your phone, all right? Because you know how things work and you might end up closing it out or something. And we don't want to lose you for this stream. Now, I want to get into this next clip that we have, which personally I was incredibly impressed by. Now, as you could probably guess, that was the punt block drill for special teams. And I was uber impressed with Kwity Paye, because what he showed in that clip on that drill not only works for the punt block drill, but it works in pass rush. And it is incredible. We're gonna do it again. I'm gonna show it and keep an eye. I think he's the third guy, number 51. Watch how he dips his shoulder. First, the takeoff off the line, dips the shoulder so much that when the bag is pushed at him, completely misses him and still continues coming up the field. It's just beautiful. That was absolutely fantastic, and that shows a lot for the pass rush, right? Him being able to bend. I'm wondering if Unique is working with him about how to do that bend. I mean, I get that Robert Mathis has been working with him as well, but to have a guy closer to your own age, no offense, Rob, no offense, all right, love you, but a guy who could sit there right beside you and show you exactly how it's done, who's playing beside you on a day-to-day basis, I think that would help out tremendously. His takeoff off the line was fantastic. His bend was amazing. And, he went straight after that ball. That was beautiful from what I saw.
Yes, it was. And I just, Rob, that was him that said that. I know you're going to change your name now to Colts Law Hater instead of QB Hater. But no, you're right. Like you said. And the thing was, it's a drill. Okay. I mean, but the thing is if he's giving that much effort and that much focus on the details and stuff, man, can you imagine what it's going to be like during game time when it really counts to him?
Oh, no kidding, man. That's it's nasty. And like we talked about, right? Full pads, you're fully expecting the defense to be, better than the offense during team drills. You just are. Brandon jumps in here with a question. Loyalist, tell me about Pierce. Tell me he's breaked out into the top 3 wide receiver on the roster. I personally, from what I've seen of Pierce, he's looked really good. Harpoon says that Pierce got owned by Gilmore. That's an expectations. All right, especially when pads are on and it's full contact early on. That's you expect that. Pierce should start to gain his own and learn how to defeat the bump and run later, right? Like in a couple more weeks, once Reggie starts to teach him. I got a picture of Reggie, or a video of Reggie with the big bumpers working on that specific thing. Hey, I want to shout out TJ Joe, $5 donation through the YouTube super chat. Thank you so much. Says pessimistic this time of year, riding high now. I'm calling 12-5. Wow, TJ, that's wow. That's impressive. That's actually what Gerard Powers has the Colts going 12-5. Right over there on Believe in Colts with myself and him.
Yeah, and the thing is I'll tell you right now, Colts Nation has showed up tremendously. Even today, I mean, it was not felt like 150 degrees out there and stuff. I mean, man, them stands were packed. I mean, Colts City was packed. Everybody was there in good spirits. But the thing is, you can hear it. I mean, it is like, you sit there and you see one little play, and it's almost that game type of feel. You can hear the Colts Nation swell up, and then wow, if it was a successful play, or you hear the or whatever. I mean, it was really like being at a game. It was pretty cool. But as far as Brandon's question with Pierce, I don't. We all know that the Colts really don't push the rookies as far as just giving them carte blanche. But yes, he had a rough day yesterday. I think that's what who was it? Harpoon was talking about Pierce owning Gilmore, or Gilmore owning Pierce. But I will tell you, first off, if you see Pierce, Gilmore seems to be the guy covering him like 95% of the time. Okay. And he's getting very familiar with him. But the thing is imagine that. You've got a Pro Bowl talent that's out there. And the thing is
defensive player of the year talent.
Yeah, and this is the guy that you're competing against on a daily, and as a rookie. And then if you have any struggles, look who you got behind you. If not just in the team, not just with Michael Pittman Jr. or Paris Campbell, but no, you look at Reggie Wayne and they'll talk it through and they'll work it. And the thing is the thing I like the most, I haven't really noticed Pierce making a lot of mistakes, but the thing is he's not making the same mistake. It's not like he's sitting there and repeating his mistakes. He learns from his mistakes. He moves on and says, oh, okay, let's learn something new. You know what I mean? But I do like what I've seen. And today I would say Pierce and Jelani Woods, as far as the rookies go, really popped off today. I was very pleased with that. And Pierce had, like he said, yesterday was more of a 50-50 type day. Today was more of an 80-20 type day.
80-20 as in the offense.
Just improvement. No. I just Pierce improvement. I just felt like he didn't win all of his battles, but he won enough of them to sit there and see the improvement.
When you're playing against Stephon Gilmore, it's you can't expect to win every battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't, and especially in a situation like we talked about. And you bring up a really good, it's raining outside, daggone. So you bring up a really good point earlier about, if you got a guy of his talent going up against you as a rookie right off the bat, play after play after play, that can only be a good thing, right?
Mhm.
That's going to bring you to be even better. And when you're going up against guys that doesn't have the skill, Gilmore is a bump and run guy. That's what he likes to do, right? And if you can learn to somehow defeat Gilmore in that handsy bump and run type coverage, you're going to be able to do that to just about any other corner out there in the NFL. All right. So A+ for that. You're trying to get Pierce to be the best that he can as early as he can, to be that much more productive early on in his career, hopefully this season.
Yeah, and from what I've seen from Gilmore, if he stays healthy, guys, okay, I understand his age and stuff. The dude is like glue, and it doesn't start 3 yards down. No, he's in your face from the giddy up, and he's really, really testing these receivers. I mean, I saw him a couple times up against MPJ today, and I mean, you could see MPJ was working just to get off of Gilmore. So yeah.
All right. Again, hey, first off, the person here, I've seen your name before. We've talked about it. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it. I don't know if that's that Greek. I'm not 100% sure. I can't do it. I'm not even going to try because I don't want to butcher it. But if you ever want to phonetically spell it in the chat, feel free, and I'll try to work it that way. He asks, do you think Pierce will get more targets than Pittman, especially in the end of the year? I don't know. Let's first off, we got to get through training camp.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to end up with the most targets on this team. It could legitimately be Ashton Doolin or Naheem Hines, right? It could be one of those guys. Staying healthy, I think Paris Campbell might be that guy. I really do. But he's got to stay healthy for that situation. Okay. But Michael Pittman Jr., if this team stays healthy, this is a better receiving core than most people give them credit for.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is this year, it's not going to be like last year. You're not going to have, I could be wrong, but I really don't think you're not going to have one receiver getting 1,100, 1,200 yards and then everybody else only getting 4. No, I think Matt Ryan, from what I've seen already, the running backs are going to get a workout in the receiving. Check down. He knows what a check down is for, and he uses it very efficiently. Like you said, you got Naheem Hines at the wide receiver spot. I think that this is going to be one of those years where, remember a couple of years ago with Phillip Rivers, how it was like, oh, this guy's got 800 and some yards. This guy had 780 yards. I think that spreading the ball and making our secret weapon again be, well, other than JT, letting our, but he's not really a secret, but let our offense, and just the fact that it's who you want to guard. Whoever you guard, I'm throwing it to somebody else type mentality. And like you said, Doolin, Doolin made his bones last year. He did okay at the wide receiver spot, but he made his bones through special teams. He's still doing that, but man, he's really been balling out at the wide receiver spot. And I really like what I've seen from him so far.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to jump back to some of the questions from earlier that I happened to actually miss, and I didn't mean to. Jack, what's going on? He asked, what's up with Kenny Moore? Been out of touch the last 2 weeks. Kenny's out there practicing. He said he kind of basically said the exact same thing that Frank Reich said about it. He's like, look, everybody wants to make more money. They should want to make more money, but there's a time for that, and there's a time to play football. And Kenny Moore, last week when training camp started and he was out there, he looked right at the reporters and said, it's time to play football. So that tells me that him and Reich and everybody is on the same page in that situation.
Yeah, and also today, man, I'll tell you right now, there's a drill on 7-on-7 that they were doing today where they have a 3 bunch on one side. They got to get rid of that. Kenny Moore, there was like a 4-man pileup. It was Kenny Moore, Naheem Hines. These guys all just converged at the middle, and all of a sudden, here comes Isaiah Rodgers, just breaks the pass up. But then there was just this massive humanity on the ground, and it was like Kenny looked like he was feeling that a little bit. You know what I mean? So he is out there grinding, doing the grind and trying. But man, Coach, look at those. Maybe let's spread these guys out. We don't need them getting hurt this week.
Back to another question from earlier. James Smithson asked, do we think that Banagoo makes the team again? Again, this is another situation where I need to see more from him with the pads over the next few weeks. There's a lot of talent on that D-line, a lot. And Banagoo's going to have to show what he can do against the ones and the twos, not just the threes and the fours, in order to make this team, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's not even gotten a lot of reps with them. I mean, and the thing is we kept saying the last couple of years, oh, man, Banagoo's really popping in training camp. That's not happening this year. That's another sign to me that this O-line is better than what we had, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, we saw it, you know, Tevy and what was it? Julian
Davenport.
Davenport. I can't believe how he disgraced that number 73. But anyhow, those guys were just like, oh, the quarterback's over here. You know what I mean? That's not happening this year. You know what I mean? There's not that turnstile. Like I said, you've seen the effort from Banagoo, but I think they were like, no, you're no-go. You're not going there. You know what I mean? They just kept shutting them down. And I didn't care if it was Ryman or Pryor or whatever. Like I said, very pleased to see that. Now, does he up his game? And how much, I mean, honestly, how much of this is been there, done that with Ballard, and how much of this, well, this is Bradley's first chance of seeing him, you know what I mean? And where does that decision come and stuff? So that's a tricky question, because you know that Ballard's going to ask Bradley and his take on it and stuff. And Bradley doesn't have that nasty taste in his mouth like Colt Station does as much. You know what I mean? So how much more does that give him an up? Because the young man's got physical gifts. He just doesn't seem to have the it factor.
You know, there's a lot of things out there, a lot of people going out there saying, you know, that Ballard and the Colts just don't put enough resources into the wide receiver group. The last 3 years, they have dropped a high second-round pick every year for the last 3 years on wide receiver. To me, that is putting a lot of resources into wide receivers, high-end resources, right? And you got Paris Campbell was a high second-round pick. Michael Pittman Jr. was a high second-round pick. Alec Pierce was a high second-round pick. Let these guys work. Let them get into the system. Michael Pittman started to show up his second year. Paris Campbell's been injured his first 2 years. This is Alec Pierce's rookie year. These are young second-round talents that legitimately, if they could stay on the field, I think could really do some damage. So let's give them a little bit of time.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I like I said, this wide receivers room, I mean, I don't want to say I was doubting Ballard, but I've heard now for the last few years this wide receiver room is better than what you think, And I'm like you. I've always been a fan of Paris Campbell. What he puts on the field when he's on the field. We all know what that is. It's not going to be a problem this year. I already said I'm not. You know, MPJ, like you said, you know, once he got through that compartmental syndrome with his leg, he's just been a fast tracking it the whole way through, you know. But Pierce, you can see, I mean, you can honestly see just from day 1 to day 5, the improvement.
Absolutely.
Me personally, that's what I want to see. That's all I want to see right now. Just keep getting better, young man, because you know what? Even if this year isn't his year to shine, year 2, year 3, he's still going to be on the roster.
Tim, what's going on? He says, I'm hoping Dio shows some of his twitchiness, explosiveness now that he's gotten an off season to get back into his pre-injury self. Last year was a redshirt type year, basically. And you're right. Basically, it was kind of like a redshirt year. He got his preseason in and training camp in the last few games of the year. That's how I saw that, right? Mm-hmm. He's finally got an actual offseason to work with. It'll be fun to watch him hopefully grow and develop just as much as, you know, his draft partner, Kwity Paye, coming up this training camp. Wyatt, what's going on, Wyatt Law? Appreciate you being in here. Multiple positive vibes coming from this camp. If we stay reasonably healthy, that's a Big if. Hoisting the Lombardi next February is a distinct possibility. This team is good, and I'm not going to disagree.
Mhm.
I like where this team is sitting right now. Even Matt Ryan, okay? Look, everyone talks about Matt Ryan and, his arm strength. His arm strength is fine. His arm strength is perfectly fine, okay? We've seen it firsthand. He can throw no problem, and it's not like rainbows. He throws a pretty pass, okay? A pretty pass. No, it's not a cannon laser rocket, but it's a pretty pass. It's better, stronger than what Phillip Rivers was throwing. I'll tell you that much. And then his mobility. Everybody says, well, he can't move. My ass, he can't move. Okay. I'll tell you, am I wrong, Loyalist?
No, not at all. I remember somebody sitting there calling him Peyton Manning. I'm like, Peyton Manning didn't run that good his rookie season, let alone, excuse me, year 13 and 14. No, the young man, and Matt Ryan, he's making me mad is what he's doing. Because I'll be honest, I went into this thing and I was like, okay, don't do what you always do. Because I go in and I get hyped and I'm like, I go in full throttle. Yeah. So this year I was like, look, he's 37 years old, and I was trying to tamper the expectations. But gosh darn it, every daggone practice you see these throws and it's like, yeah, and I'm like, I can't avoid it. I'm sorry, I can't avoid it.
Well, last year, one of the benefits and one of the things that we talked about with Carson Wentz was the fact that he was mobile. When the line broke down, he was able to extend, take off, run with the ball. Matt Ryan is a step more than him, okay? And I'm saying now, am I saying he's as athletic as Carson Wentz? No. Is he as fast as Carson Wentz? No. But he's smarter when he runs the football. Mm-hmm. All right. What I'm noticing is he doesn't wait to feel somebody grab his jersey or on top of him when he takes off. He has a clock in his head. And he goes 1, 2, 3, nope, gone. That's what I'm seeing. And when he does that, he's gone for 15, 20 yards before anyone ever even comes close to him. The line hadn't broken down yet. He just knows that clock is there. And if there's open space in front of him, he's going to take it to get the positive yards.
Yeah. And the thing is let's also remember Carson Wentz, when he ran the ball, it, like you said, it was to run around in a circle. No, Matt Ryan, when he runs the ball, first off, he's going to run to a certain part of the field and look for that check down. You know what I mean? He's not going to look
like
at
that beautiful rollout pass to Mo Alley Cox yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's the thing. He doesn't roll out and look for that hero ball moment. You know what I mean? We don't see any, let me switch it to the left hand, see if I can do anything with it. We're not going to see that this year. The thing is and he's not going to look at the check down and move past it because, like you said, he's been in the league. He understands that clock's ticking, and every second it ticks louder and louder. And the thing is can you imagine? Do you want Matt Ryan running the ball, or do you want Nyheim Hines or Jonathan Taylor out in the open doing that?
Absolutely. This year definitely has a different feel to it. The Colts should do big things this season. 100% agree, Mr. J. 100. I said it before. This offseason feels different, right? With Carson, when we got Carson Wentz and those other guys and the rookies and stuff, there was optimism, but it was shaded with a little bit of, like, this could be bad, right? This could turn a different way. And we saw that during the season where we had the high highs and the low lows, right? This year don't feel that way. This year feels like you could have high highs, but the lows aren't going to be that low. Like, the swing isn't going to be nearly as big from what I'm seeing because of the depth and the type of talent that we have, and the fact that our young guys aren't necessarily that young anymore. They're more experienced. This is a very exciting year, in my opinion. Inside the Horseshoe Podcast, I've been a big supporter of Ryan the past few years. If he's as good as I expect, this team will win the AFC. Notice he didn't put AFC South in there. He just dropped the conference. Screw it. All right. Appreciate you guys. Avery says that Ryan has way, way better anticipation. And he does. He does. It's a fact. Well, apparently, from reports, I guess Carson Wentz had a not so bad practice for the first time today, where he didn't throw like at least 3 interceptions. So, good for him. Maybe there'll be 4 people at his practice watching now.
And guys, let's quit hating on Carson, okay?
Yeah.
Because right now we need Washington. We need them to play him as many snaps as possible, because that draft pick could come in huge this next year. Let's not forget.
Absolutely. All right. It's been 45 minutes. It's about time for us to jump out of here. But before we go, please don't forget to check out the Patreon in the links at the bottom. Also, again, you can hit that donation link as well. I'll pop it up on the last stream that we have, or on the next live stream that we have, if you do that as well. Don't forget to check out the Backroom Collection. Why? Because Defo said so. That's why. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts signed pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. First off, that's an old one. There are a ton of autographed pieces for the Colts on that site right now. They're not cheap, but you don't expect them to be cheap when they're autographed pieces like that. But they're beautiful, beautiful items. Also, you can check out my merch shop if you're looking for anything of that nature. There's a ton of different stuff you can go check out there. The Patreon, as I said, there's all kind of stuff. Lots of links in the description of the video. Appreciate each and every one of you. Wyatt says 14-3 ASC champs. We go 14-3. The Colts will be the talk of the freaking NFL next year. Like, it'd be stupid. It'd be wow. That would be ridiculous. I'd love it. I wouldn't. I'm not going to be like, no, it can't happen. But that
14,
would be
14-3's got Buffalo going, man, I thought this was our year to be number 1 seed in the AFC.
Right. Right. All right. We're going to answer one more question before we jump out of here. Harpoon says, what changes have been made to prevent a slaughter like what happened in Baltimore last year where Andrews just torched us? Now, don't forget, we were winning that game right up until the fourth quarter. We were winning. We weren't getting slaughtered. We were beating the snot out of them defensively. I think they had a total of 13 yards in the first half. The problem was they were dead ass beat tired. The defense was in the second half. Why? Because certain coaches on this team were not flipping guys in and out to keep them healthy. And then injuries started happening, and we had to start pulling guys from Subway and freaking Dairy Queen to start covering guys out there on the field to cover Baltimore Ravens players and to cover Lamar Jackson, right? You're not going to be doing that. All right. That's kind of the stuff that happened with Baltimore. That's what happened 2 years in a row, to be honest. So the changes is we have different defensive line coach and Nate Ollie now instead of Brian Baker. And we got a new DC, which I think will utilize the, hey, keep these guys fresh, get them in and out. That's why we have our depth. Let's use that depth, right? Yeah. To keep them fresh so that those late game meltdowns don't happen anymore.
Yeah. And our interior defensive line, depth wise, I mean, by the way, I did want to mention that seeing Curtis
Brooks.
No, gosh darn it. 95. Anyhow, he did real good last year, but he had a boot on yesterday, and they didn't see him out on the field today. But what I'm trying to say though is our whole interior defensive line, Eric Johnson, Brooks, Defoe, Grover. I mean, guys, they are not messing around. They're coming in and they are practicing with a different level of intensity. And I think that's going to go really well for us this year.
All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for us for today. We will be back sometime, probably Friday, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It just depends upon what's going on. We'll definitely upload some videos of some sort. If not, go live. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I am now very happy that you guys are here. I just want to shout out each and every one of you. Thank you. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. As usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
What's up, guys? Friday. Make sure you keep an eye out for the Believe in Colts podcast that we will upload Friday, probably evening. It'll be with me, Gerard Powers, and Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts. I will be dropping 100%. I will be dropping a code word that you will put in the comment section to put you in the drawing for these signed Believe shirts. They're identical. Got Frank Reich and Ryan Kelly and Bobby Okereke and Jelani Woods and a bunch of other guys and Matt Taylor. Make sure you check that out. Loyalist, what the heck do you have there? I don't. Hold on.
This right here. This right here, Colts, best idea ever. 90 plus degrees. I love this thing, and it was my best friend today for all the sweat. Thank you very much. And shout out to all of our military members.
Absolutely. And until next time, have a good one.